y'all, welcome to Home Cooking with Jody. Don't know if y'all saw the name was changed. It's more fitting to what I'm doing. Today I want to show y'all how to make cookies, and it's everything under the kitchen sink cookies. There's a basic batter to it, and then you can add all this assortment of stuff. I won't be adding all of it, but I'm just showing you ideas of what you can add. The one thing not in here that I didn't include was Reese's pieces or Reese's bits. I don't like them, so I didn't add them. Cornflakes is one that you can add. And basically, after we put this together, it's a half a cup of anything and everything that you want to add. So the secret ingredient, honestly, is the pecans, and you roast them. Roasting them is the secret, and that gives them that extra special flavor. I get these pecans, they're Jimmy Houston pecans, and this recipe you saw on the crab boil, the crawfish boil, and Jimmy mentioned the cookies that I'd made that he liked so much. Well, that's what these are, and these are Jimmy Houston pecans, and you will need to, when it comes season, you will want to buy his pecans. I buy them and use them through the holidays, and then put them in the freezer to use them throughout the year. They're the best pecans. So to start out with, we're going to roast these pecans. Basically, all you need is a skillet. It doesn't have to be cast iron. Mine is. You don't need to put butter or anything in it. You just put your pecans in it, and we're going to roast them till they're fragrant. We're not going to burn. You want to make sure you don't burn them. So we're just going to let this get hot and let them roast a little bit. And also, on these cookies, as soon as you make them, you can make them into cookies like you normally do. I like to roll them and chill them overnight, and then you have the baked cookies, the slice and bake. That way you have them for a while. They last a long time, and they're so good. Everybody loves these cookies. It's a good way to always have cookies whenever, cut a couple of them and slice them and eat them. These cookies are really good when you make them big. Sometimes I make them small, they're fine, but they're really good big cookies. So we'll get these all roasted up. One of the things that I put in these cookies is butterscotch chips. I don't like butterscotch, but in these cookies, it's really good. But anything you don't like, just omit it. Another thing that's not out here is pretzels. That's another thing people put in them. These are cookies you make your own. You put in it what you like. And I change it up all the time, so they're a little bit different every time I make them. Okay, you only need to do this for about 3 to 5 minutes. You just want, when they start smelling fragrant, which they are, and you can see they kind of have changed color a little bit, not much. So that's all I need, because you just want that flavor, and you can smell it, so you know you have it. So I'm going to dump these into this bowl over here. That's all there is to roasting pecans, and this is the secret, the difference in the flavors. You'll want to do this. So now we're going to start with the basic dough. I've got a cup of butter at room temperature that we're going to blend together. Make sure that's on. I need to get let that all get blended. I'm going to get a spatula. Okay, we're going to scrape this off the side just so it's all in there. Okay, so I have the butter all blended together. I'm going to add both sugars, a cup of white sugar and a cup of brown sugar. And then we're going to blend it, and while I'm blending it, I'm going to keep pushing it off the sides to make sure it gets all blended in. So far, it's all kind of stuck together. I try to sneak in and... Boy, I tell you what, those pecans smell good. And they taste like that when you cook it. You get that flavor. Okay, so once these is... I'm gonna mix it. Oh, I don't have it all the way off. I'm going to mix it, get it in here, push it down the sides. I want to make sure the sugar and the butter is all combined together. Now we're going to add 2 eggs. And vanilla, which is, this is a teaspoon of vanilla. And I use the true Mexican vanilla for it's the best flavor. Those are all the things that give it that special touch. Okay, it looks like I need to scrape the sides. Okay, while that's blending, I'm going to take 2 cups of flour, and then I've got a teaspoon of baking soda and a teaspoon of baking powder that I'm going to add in, and a teaspoon of salt. And I'm just going to kind of mix it in with my fingers. Bigger bowl would help, but and we're going to add it to this other. Okay. And turn this off. And you know, for all of us that have stand-up mixers, you know that this flour flies everywhere whenever you start it. So I start mixing it in a little, get it incorporated before I finish it off with the blender, so that it doesn't fly everywhere all over the counter. It kind of helps hold it down a little bit. Okay. This is so good. Do y'all like to eat your cookie dough? Because I sure do. It's so good. Okay, so now we're going to let all that incorporate together. I'm going to push it off the sides. You know, the secret is too, if you start with room temperature butter, this all goes a lot smoother too and easier. Okay, I think that's pretty incorporated. Now comes the fun part. First of all, when we start with, you have a cup of oats that you start with before you add all the other fun things. So we're going to go ahead and add our cup of oats and get that mixed in. Let it off. And you can add more oats if you like more. I like a lot of oats. I like those ranch ham cookies that have a lot of oats in it. And that's just old-fashioned oats. Uncooked. Okay. And it just keeps getting thicker and just kind of harder and harder. The more stuff you put in it, the more harder it is. Okay, so, and then this is, it's supposed to be a half a cup of nuts. This is probably more like 3/4. I like a lot of nuts. And I'm not going to put the corn flakes in, so I'm going for more crunchier that way. Now, we have all these options. I like to use the chunks, but you can use the chips also. And I have milk chocolate chips, which is funny. I like the milk chocolate chips, but I like these in the semi-sweet, these chunks. And these chunks, they turn out really well in the cookie. I just like how they are in the cookie versus the chip. So we're putting half a cup of that in. I like the flavor of white chocolate, so we're adding a half a cup of white chocolate. And this is where you just get creative and do your own thing. And the butterscotch is a fun one to do. And I haven't tried, I bought these carmel. I haven't tried it in it, but I think it would be good, so I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to try to spread it in different places. So we're going to try some of these caramels, see what that does in the cookie. That's got to make it good because I love caramel. Now, we also have, and I've always put coconut in it, and coconut's good. I just never, you don't really taste it so much in there, so I'm not gonna put it in this time. The Heath bits is one of that they recommend to put in it, but again, you don't really get the texture of the Heath bits and stuff, so I'm not gonna put that in this time. But they're good. I mean, you should try it. And then a lot of times I will do the milk chocolate, but I've got these chunks, the chunks in, so I'm not gonna do the milk chocolate. And I'm not going to do the cornflakes. You can keep adding to it or do less. And in the instructions below, I'll put all the other options, and then use your imagination and go from there. Things that you like to do too. This is one that I would say make it your own cookie. Okay, we're going to mix these all up. See how thick? I have to. I need to push it off the side because it's not even getting in there. Okay, I'm going to push this. These cookies, don't make these if you think that you're going to make them for the family and you're not going to eat them because you can't help yourself. Okay, I'm just going to take this. I'm going to take this off and just stir it because it'll be easier. So you just want it all incorporated in. And it looks like it is to me. So at this point, when you started making them, if you put your oven on 350, you could start making. You want to do big scoops like an ice cream scoop or something like that. You want a big ball because you want these to be big cookies. They're really good that way. I want to keep them for later, so I'm going to get my parchment paper out and I'm going to roll these and chill them. And you can chill them for an hour and then cook them, or overnight. I like to do them overnight, but if you're in a hurry and want to eat some. They are kind of good if you just wait and chill them for an hour before you cook them too. But you can do it any way you want. They are still good and work any of those ways. Let me get this all together for you and show you how I roll them up. Okay, so we're going to take it out onto this cutting board so I can roll it. And I get a couple of rolls out. You probably could even get 3. I do a big thick one and a smaller one usually. Just because I only cut 2 things of paper. I'm getting all of this out. And I have washed my hands. Plus, when I'm done, I get to lick my fingers. I want to get as much of that dough as I can because it's so good. Okay, so I'm going to take this and just kind of form it out. Just keep forming it like that. And then when you can, if you want to keep it the bigger cookies, you just do 1 slice and then cook it as a whole slice, or you can slice it and then cut that slice in half and cook it, which they're smaller cookies then. And then you want to cook them for, I think it's about 10 minutes. You don't want them just lightly brown because they're better when they're not too done. Just lightly brown around the edges. Okay, so I'm going to take this parchment paper. I'm going to fix that a little bit. So we're just going to roll it over and put it in the fridge. Let me do the other one. I think I'm going to do it on it and make it, because then I don't have to transfer it afterwards. So we're just going to just keep making, just forming the log, basically. And I just kind of half it. I mean, I try to make it even. It's not always necessarily just perfectly even. Doesn't really matter. You don't have to worry about how long they can stay in the fridge because you'll eat them up too fast. They don't ever last that long. But if you were going to keep them for a long time, I think I would almost freeze them. I wouldn't keep them over, I don't know. I'd have to look. We always eat them. I have no idea how long you can keep them in there. So that's it. We'll put them in the refrigerator. I'll go ahead and slice some in an hour and bake them so you can see how they turn out. And then you can make these any way you want to. Like I say, you make them your own with all those different options, and you cook them right then, or you freeze, or you slice and bake and refrigerate them. So much for dieting. These were cut just one whole piece and baked for 12 minutes, and that's the size they came out. And they are so good. You're going to be happy you had that you tried these, and when you make these, everybody's going to want you to make them again and again, and they're really easy to make. I hope that you enjoyed this segment, and let me know what you think about these cookies. Be sure and subscribe to my channel. I'm almost at 1,000 likes, and I really need those subscribers. And be sure to hit that like button too. That helps me keep going and keep sending recipes. I've had several friends that have given me recipes to share with y'all, and I've got a list of recipes to make. So more is coming very soon. Thank y'all for watching me and for subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate that. Y'all come back. Bye.